Hey guys, Brannan Lawson with the Art Barn Studio. Today's art lesson is a still life. Pear. So let me teach you a little bit about still life. Here is the exact definition of a still life. A still life is a drawing or painting of inanimate objects, which means things that don't move. Yes, if I put a ball on my table, it might roll off. It's not like it has legs and it's moving. It's just the way that it is shaped. That doesn't mean it is alive. It is still an object, typically including fruit, flowers, bowls. So if you look at a variety of still life from master artists and other artists, yes, usually it is flowers or a bowl or a pitcher. And I mean like a pouring pitcher, silverware, something again that is not going to move off the table, hence still life. So when you are setting up a still life vignette, which is just meaning a little thing that you would set up so you could draw it from real life, it is usually anything that's not going to move. I know one popular thing, coffee mug is a great still life object. Fruit. So today we're actually going to be drawing a still life pear. Again, these skills that I'm showing are a little bit more difficult than our normal. I would say anybody the age of 8 or over would be successful in creating this. So we are going to be using paint on paper for this one. Again, feel free to use whatever supplies you have at home. You can just modify it to fit your supplies. So go grab your art supplies and let's get started. Okay, we are going to be drawing our pear. I have my white paper. It is vertical, which is top to bottom. First step we're going to do is go ahead and fold your paper. Take the bottom, meet it to the top to fold it, find your invisible line. Crease it, then open it back up. Again, that invisible line is letting you know that is the middle of our paper. So our pear is going to be in the middle of this. So I'm going to get my permanent marker. I'm having to put a paper underneath mine just to protect my table. And the first thing we're going to do is draw the pear. Then we're going to use our oil pastels to color in the pear. I'm kind of doing a mixture of both. We're going to do the oil pastels to add the color to the pear, and then we're going to be painting the background. So we're going to be using two mediums, meaning is a mixed media art project. Again, oil pastels and tempera paints, two different mediums. So this is a mixed media project. So our first thing, get your permanent marker, go ahead and get it the back on there. And the pear shape is kind of a triangle curved. So the top is smaller than the bottom. There's no sharp edges. So you don't want it to be sharp, like as in points. So you're going to come and then make a big curved bottom, kind of like a raindrop, but then again, curve the top. The top should not have, there's no points on a pear. And then the stem, which is two parallel lines, and then a little tiny horizontal line. And the last thing with the permanent marker, this is pretty simple, is drawing our table. So where the fold is from the pear to the end of the paper, make sure that it's on both sides evenly. So that's all of your drawing. Go ahead and put your marker up. For your oil pastels, we are going to be using a kind of a dark yellow, a slight green, and a orange. So nothing too dark. So if they're not already picked out for you, go ahead and make sure you find something similar to that. We're going to be doing some blending with our oil pastels. It is a specific technique. So what you're going to do, you're going to start with this yellowish on the left side of your pear. And I'm just trying to color in a section. Okay, leave that there. I'm going to take my orange and I'm going to kind of just a little bit on that curve side, add slight orange on top. So you want to do the lighter, then add the darker, then go back with the lighter, and you can even blend it in more with your lighter on top of that. Pears have several shapes. They're like an orangish, yellow, green. Okay, and we're going to do the same technique with the green on the right side. So I'm going to finish coloring in the center with this yellow. If you need to peel the paper back, feel free to do that. Just make sure, I want to make sure I stay in line. Okay, so then I'm going to do the same thing with the green. Go over here with the green, kind of on that curved, a little farther down this way. Take my yellow. Okay, again, you don't want the whole thing green. You don't want the whole thing yellow. You just, or orange. Oops. Oil pastel. And then I do want to make sure I don't see a lot of white inside. When I feel like I've got it covered enough, make sure my oil pastels are back. If I threw any trash away. Whoops. And then the last color we're going to use is the brown for our stem. Okay, so I have all my colors and with my oil pastels. Go ahead and put these away. Background, we're going to be using a tempera, semi-moist tempera paint, or you could just use tempera paint or even watercolor. These are kind of like a mix between watercolor and tempera paint that you squirt in the cup, and then watercolors that you add water to. So I'm going to be using a round brush. You could use a flat brush because we do have a lot of big areas. There's not a lot of small areas. So we're going to be using 2 shades of blue. I have a lighter and a darker shade. You are going to start at the top. Now, to wake up our paints, I got a wet brush and then I rubbed on top of the paints. And then we want to start at the top and work our way down. Water, rub on the paints, paper. That is your technique. Water, rub your paint, paper. And you want to smooth it out to that line, not going in your pear. I always like to get. So that was our first color. And now we're going to switch to the darker color of the other blue. Now, if you do not have 2 shades of blue, find 2 shades of something. Like I have 2 shades of orange, which that's too close to my pear. I do have 2 shades of a red and a pink, 2 purples, maybe one's a blue. Okay, this is the darker blue that I'm using at the bottom. So again, same thing. Water, rub on my paints, paper, going slow. But if you don't have 2 shades, then just pick 2 colors that complement each other. And if you don't know what complement means colors that are across each other on the color wheel. So if you're looking at the color wheel, across from red, and then across from blue is orange. So you could have blue and orange, purple and yellow, red and green as your background, and then your table that it's sitting on. Okay, so I've added all my color. I'm going to be careful. I don't want to pick my paper up because this is wet paint. So if you pick it up, I'm going to show you on this one. You can see it's going to drip. You can see it starts to drip right there. So keep your paper flat. As you are walking it back, I'm going to make sure I put my brush where it needs to be to clean up. Make sure I close my paints, put those away. And then once I'm ready, I'm going to be putting my pear somewhere to dry. I hope you enjoyed our mixed media pear. Again, using oil pastels for the pear and then semi-moist tempera paints for the background. Hey guys, I hope you enjoyed doing this kind of draw along, paint along art lesson with Miss Lawson. Again, please share your artwork. I love to see what you guys put out there.